Hello and welcome to Crypto Odyssey, where we explore cryptocurrencies, provide technical analysis, and today we're looking at XRP. Now, this is my first video, so welcome to the channel. If you have any suggestions for charts that you would like me to analyze, put them in the comment section below. Hit that like if you enjoy the video, and of course, if you want to follow for future updates and future videos, click that subscribe, click the bell, and let's get rocking. So we're on the XRP chart today, looking at the 2 daily time frame. What we're going to get up is the MACD because there are some interesting things going on here. Now you can see that as of today, Thursday the 17th of April, we have just got a 2 daily MACD cross. Now the last time that we saw that occurred right here, I believe a month ago. On Tuesday the 18th of March, we saw a MACD cross, which ultimately turned out to be a failure. Okay, we didn't quite get a bullish engulfing. However, what followed after this MACD cross was a month of action to the downside, which culminated with this low coming in. So we can draw our levels in. So the low came in at 1.6, which found support, which was previous resistance back on the 22nd of November. But let's not get ahead of ourselves because we're still dealing with this MACD. Although we had this one, this was the last one, the one prior to this was the big move where we saw, and it came in, what, the 4th of November? Let's have a look. Or 6th of November. What happened then when we had this MACD cross? Well, we had this 500% or so move. We can't underestimate the potential of this 2 daily MACD cross. And we are deep. We are even deeper than when we were in November. We are very deep. And if we take a closer look now to see what the histogram is doing, we have, now ignore this one because this wick got swallowed up. We're going to start from this section here. We have a low, a lower low, and then we have a lower low. So we have 3 waves of lower lows. If we look at what the histogram is doing, we have a higher low, a higher low, a higher low. Okay, so we have some kind of divergence occurring here. This is bullish divergence. Now, if we see this play out on the price action, what are the targets that we're looking at? If we refer back to Tuesday the 18th of March, we can see that price action was sitting around this 250 level, which was quite a crucial level. And we can play the levels in this game. If you look, and this is easy when it comes to support and resistance, because you're just looking at points of reference where price has referred back to time and time again. In November, when we had this huge move, we came up and we found resistance right here. Came back down. Where did we find resistance? Same spot. Then we came back down, ultimately found a higher low from these previous lows, and then the next time we tried, we broke out. Okay, did we find support? No, we did not. We drove all the way down to the ground. So we found resistance here. We found resistance here again. This section, we couldn't find support. We broke up, but it was a fake out, ultimately came back down. We found resistance. Again, we found resistance here. And finally, at the time of when we had the prior 2 daily MACD cross, we found resistance there too. So what is this telling us? Well, this is telling us that if this is really going to play out, the price target that we're probably going to go to, if it works out, is this 256 level. However, obviously there are levels that we need to break out before that. I just want to dip down into the lower time frames because we are seeing something develop on the lower time frames. Now, this is looking some kind of wedge, however you might want to call it. It could just be a descending channel where the price action, if it were to break out, would be, you're looking at potentially rising back to these levels, around the 238 mark, which again is where we have found resistance here. Ultimately, we broke down from this section. So this is a level, another interesting level that we want to get up to, because you can see the points where it is significant. Again, we're just playing levels here. Yeah, 3 times here. It looks like price wants to maybe get to that section if this is going to break to the upside. If it breaks to the downside, then we're looking at potentially a move down, again finding support now potentially on this 180 level. If it comes back down, then we'd find support hopefully at the 160 level. But let's not get too far. Let's just get into a little bit of a shorter time frame here. You can see that potentially as well we had some kind of double bottom ascending triangle play out here. Now if this is going to break out, could this be forming part of this wedge potentially? Okay, we saw something similar here where we came up and rallied to the top. Are we going to see the same thing? This ultimately broke down. Is this an ascending triangle or a double bottom, or is it part of this bear flag, which would then say that actually no, price is going to come back down, maybe find support, continue this descending channel down? Could well be. Yeah, we break that to the downside, then we're looking again coming down to these lower levels. We'll see price come down. Now let's just clean this up for a second. We're going to go onto the 12-hourly chart because there is something interesting to look at. Another pattern that could be potentially playing out here is an inverse head and shoulders. Now, why is that? Well, look, we have a left shoulder, a head, and potentially a right shoulder forming now. For this to occur, we would need a breakout above this trend line here, which is currently sitting at about 220. If we see a breakout from that target, then the measure move would be from the head to the neckline, from the neckline, and we're looking at a potentially, have a look at that. Where does that line up to, guys? On the dot, pretty much $3, $2.90, which is where we found resistance here. Ultimately, we broke out, but couldn't find support. Well, we found support there somewhat, but then ultimately broke down into this abysmal candle, which looks disgusting. And if you remember back when we had Donald Trump tweet about the crypto reserve, putting XRP first in that message, we also saw a massive pump up to that level. Could it be that this is the next move that's going to take us up to this level? And combine that with the 2 daily MACD cross, are we going to see $2.92 being broken and potentially a move to the upside? This is just a bit of an update on some things that I'm seeing at the moment. If you like, please subscribe. We're going to look at XRP. We're going to be looking at other charts. However, if you have any comments and you would like me to look at specific charts or anything like that, drop them down below and I'll get back to you. Peace out, and I'll see you in the next one.